But yeah, so Black Sun expansion is happening after we have the open and season end, and Squirtle cards got revealed, so let's look through them. We got a new scenario, and apparently we will be getting scenario per faction. No promises, but that seems to be the dream. So 15 provision cards. We have seen some of them succeed, all of them. So they are back. Then we get an epic that has harmony on it, and a couple of harmony related bronzes. And yeah, so Chameleon is kind of harmony related. Let's go through them one by one, and we're gonna start with not Mysteries of Lochfane, because it requires you to look at the other cards. We're gonna start with Lake Guardian, Dusk Aspect. So an 8 provision, 1 point body, Beast Cursed, that has a harmony on it, and well, the harmony is a Gwent keyword. That boost self by 1 of specified amount when you play Squirtle unit whose primary category is unique among all your units. I'm aware that camera kinda closed that, but if you played any Gwent, you kinda know what harmony does. Or maybe you returned to Gwent during the last year, or have started playing it last year, and you haven't seen any harmony, but it was everywhere some time ago. This unit's harmony is also triggered in hand and deck. So unlike some things like Aurelin and Hubert that jumping out at some condition fulfilled, Lake Guardian seems to be staying in your deck, so you'll need to actually draw it by round 3, and then you can play it from hand and trigger its harmony on the board, or use it as a finisher if the unit is too tall, because well, harmony will still be triggering in your hand or in deck, so you can tutor it out. So it's a beast, and if we look at the current cards that we got, it's basically beasts that are starting to carry some weight in the harmony archetype, because before it was all about dryads and then some gnomes and treants. Well, I guess the half-elf hunters got to see some play after their initial change, before harmony was killed off. But yeah, that's basically it. We had one beast that was played in harmony decks. With the harmony tag, of course, other beasts made appearance. I remember even Panther being played. But now we are getting some other beasts to take the tag and maybe allow to ease on the harmony and waters that were played in harmony decks before. So yeah, pretty simple card. Can play if you play like 7 categories, 8 categories. You get not an amazing value, but since it triggers by your tags in round 1, and then units go into the graveyard, you can re-trigger all of them once again. Okay, the 7-9 is pushing it. But yeah, since you can exploit it multiple times, seems to be a card that is played. Also, a good point made by Merson, and maybe it was talked during the reveal video, or during the reveal. This card also can be played without the harmony deck. If you feel like you're triggering it enough times, for 8 provisions, maybe you're playing it in something else that is not harmony centered. Will be interesting, but you really need to see how other cards for harmony are working out. Is it worth it to run in some different deck? Because current dwarf elf mix is not really welcoming for this card. You have what, dwarves, elves, a couple of machines, and nothing much else to justify the 8 provisions spent on this. Okay, moving on. We got 5 provision, 5 body Antarian, which is, like you see, cursed archetype. For how many? Does it have any meaning? How to say at the moment? So, harmony on the card, also on order, it infuses a light ability, unit with ability of harmony. So you can make any unit on the board that didn't have harmony to have it, and get +1 every time. So Infusion is a keyword, a new one that we are getting. It means that you add an ability to a card. In this case, you add the harmony ability. I would expect other archetypes, other factions get like some engineer abilities to it as well, or maybe for Syndicate it might be something like order profit or something, gain a coin. Anything is possible with Infusion, but here you can create another engine while playing an engine. And the thing with it is that apparently if you are playing a harmony, if you are targeting something with harmony already, it just double dips and you get a double proc on a unit. The Infusion can be locked, so that's something to consider, but well, the harmony ability can be locked anyway, so nothing new. And then another one before we move to a big 15 provision card is Chameleon. Chameleon is a beast that on deploy infuses self with a random squirtle primary category, so it ceases to be a beast and becomes something that you don't control. Not sure how it works with the beast if you don't have any beasts, but yeah, that's one part of the ability. Then on order, you can pick it up and replay it, reducing its base power by 1. At the same time, you get a new category missing from your board. You can luck out on it and get something that you have as a category in your hand, so you will be out of luck and you will miss another harmony proc. But considering there are dragons and whatnot that you can get as primary squared category, you might hit the good one. And since you can replay it, you can get the procs multiple times while just losing 1 point on each replay. So which faction likes this card a lot? Most likely full-on assimilate that has 5 engines on the board. If you play Chameleon and, well, it's not answered, it is a card that is not in your starting deck, and on each redeploy it's gonna be proccing all your engines. We'll see. Assimilate is already back in this season, so here we have it. I like the design though, and the artworks to my liking, all of them. Fairy tale, Fably, and now we are moving to a big one. So Miseries of the Loch Fane. Doomed scenario, as it should be. On prologue, it procs on each harmony unit you play, but well, you are playing harmony deck after all. On prologue, it spawns Lake Guardian Dawn aspect and sets its power to the number of square units with unique primary category in your starting deck. So if you've built the old Dana decks, or if you're playing Saskia, you know how it works. You are putting a bunch of dwarves, elves, machines, etc. into your deck, and then instead of spawning, and now it's time to look at the thing. Lake Guardian Dawn aspect. There we have it. Another nice artwork, although proportions might be a bit off. Also, if anyone has Pabs's version, please link it in chat. It was a good one as well, the animated token one. Or Pabs, bless us with your presence. So, Lake Garden, Dawn aspect. Doomed 1-point token, but as it says, it is gaining the power of like your unique categories. So it's gonna be quite interesting to see how justified it. You cannot run 15 unique categories, most likely, but if you are playing what, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8 point token as a first chapter, it kinda can compete with engines that are usually printed by scenarios. It also makes it a more explosive play compared to other scenarios that are usually developing a 4-point engine onto the board without proccing self. What happens next though? On chapter 1, when you play your first harmony unit after developing scenario, whenever you play a square unit, boost it by 1 for every category it has. Every category it has. Well, you know how it goes. You can have some categories, but you cannot have them all. Mage though seems to be a category. What else do we have there? Majority of them are just some mages besides being elves. But certainly, if Hammond was a harmony unit, yeah, you would have been happy. And then we have, of course, some specials that won't be getting anything. Is there a good unit to look at? I don't think so. They do have like one category, most of them, and anything else is just mage. Okay, machine siege engine qualifies. This dude is a half elf. Well, there is another half that is elf as well. Nah, it's a human. Where is my human tag? Somewhere on it. But yeah, you get the point that this starts to work as an engine. So saving all of them, your engines, the harmony units, for example, providing them with 1 extra point, and for some of them it will be more than 1 point that it gets a buff from. And on the final chapter we get loch Convergence. Gonna show you that in a second. It apparently has the same art, no complaints there really. It's completely fine in my book. So nature special, create a bronze square unit with a primary category that you don't control. So a guaranteed proc on your harmony once more. Hopefully you're not running out of the tags, because otherwise I would assume it just doesn't work. If you have all the dwarves machines, yada yada, we have this specified for a unit, so it cannot be trap or special. You're not getting those for free. Which altogether seems quite powerful. So that's the loch Fiend's Mysteries. It's not mystery, it's a straight up buff to Harmony deck. Maybe Harmony will be looking completely different from what we played 2 years ago. Most likely. Initial builds are gonna be running all of those, at least like singular copies of bronzes as well. Later on, it will modify itself, of course. So what aspects should we be paying attention to? Let me just look at Maligion's comments on Twitter. People have been asking him stuff. Okay, so whenever you play Chameleon, it loses the previous primary category and gets a new one. No Trapos scenario, understandably. Only unit categories because it is a unit, so that's good. And pretty clear, but yeah, the Chameleon, we have Relict, we have Dragon, so even if you played all your bronzes before for some reason, keeping the Chameleon off the board for quite a while, you still get something out of it. But as I mentioned, Assimilate will be pretty happy with this card, most likely. Moving on. You can definitely get Chameleon with Dragon tag. Okay, that was also confirmed. Anything else? Kind of surprised about the amount of comments on Maligion's thread. It seems to be lacking. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong place. Marlock also mentioned some of it. So let me once again jump onto the Discord that you are also welcome to join if you want to discuss, for example, the new reveals that are happening. So regarding the Antarion, if it's added to a unit that already had Harmony, it triggers twice. So indeed you can target your Harmony 2 units and get them to Harmony 3. Not like it changes anything. It's just a funny thought though. I guess you can target it multiple times then as well. So make a mega Harmony unit out of it. You can replay Chameleon multiple times, as it cleared, because every time you replay a card, its order refreshes, so that makes sense. The passive of scenario will only work after you open the first chapter, so yeah, the engine part of buffing your units needs to be activated. So you need to play a scenario and then a Harmony unit before you get your chapter buffs. So that is clear as well. I don't think there is anything else to it. We're gonna look at the reveals for the next faction, I think Skellige tomorrow. So overall, Harmony is back. A lot of people will be happy. Of course, I wasn't a big Harmony fan before, partially because of its straightforward point slammy approach. It kinda didn't care about controlling stuff, but we had different harmony iterations. Some of them were running Pavko and Boar and Oak and Rebuke, so it was controlling at times. Even Etriel and Murlega and Pipega made it into the harmony for like a month or two before getting kicked out from the deck. Hopefully the current harmony cards or cards that gonna be put into the deck will make it more interesting than just playing units with different tags that play for maximum points, but that's how harmony was, and that looks like the harmony will be. You just get more harmony on unrelated units. So yeah, and that will be finalizing the analysis. Now we can chat. I said my piece. Cannot say that I'm overly hyped about scenarios for each faction, which most likely will be according to a leak. So let me catch up with the chat. There are 5 new scenarios at least, and art wasn't in an announcement picture. Yeah, looked like it. Интересно, они добавили тег curse, чтобы он был лишний триггер гармонии, или, возможно, у нейтральных карт будут поисковики cursed. Ну да, в принципе, работает для, например, Лей Гардиана. Дополнительный поинтик дает. Антериону. Что получается? Ты играешь сценарий, кидаешь Антериона, он активирует первую главу. Ну, бафает, видимо, так что тоже дополнительный поинтос. So yeah, Cursed kinda gives you a couple of extra points, even on the cards that exist, so we'll see what Neutral's gonna be like. Neutrals, I think, will be revealed by the devs, or during the open, whatever the timing on that is. But since the Black Sun, Curses, and all those mysterious things concern the curses is in play for the Black Sun, it makes sense that even scenario is cursed. Well, the scenarios are cursed. There are a lot of opponents to the scenarios. Some people do enjoy their gameplay difference that they bring, basically. So honestly, I'm surprised that it took so long for them to print another round of scenarios. I think, without a joke, I think there is no rent-free card. She might be added as a Madoc Master Mirror kind of thing later on. I think projects will make it just because of the Reddit though. Hi Pooms. Hello, Kung Fu Love scenarios confirmed. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised it took so long. I was expecting them to get printed with Way of the Witcher, but they made what's it called? Locations by that time, so it was a bit different. What's the most broken thing you can do with the current cards? I think like it's not broken, but I think Merson was making a point of this being not in a harmony deck. So it starts as a 1. You play your round 1 with a couple of dwarfs, an elf, a machine, and maybe some beast. That's like 5 categories, so it's 6 for 8, not good. but you play it in the next round, and well, those same elves or dwarves are still reproking. But how are you playing so many different decks? I think it's only in Harmony deck, so outside of it I don't really see a deck built specifically for this card surviving and existing. Just too many cards needed to play. It needs to be at least 7. Yeah, that's what I mean. You need different tags, and you need 2 of them for like 2 rounds to justify. So it's... Yeah, but the thing is, it works for 2 rounds as an engine, or maybe even 3 rounds. So if you are running a couple of dwarves, a couple of machines, a couple of elves, if we get Worthy Beast, and some of the current cards are getting changed as well. Maybe there is a world where a Lake Guardian, since it's buffing, it might be a better Gord. Same as Gord at the same time. Gord needs specials, exactly, and you need to work on those specials. Bleed Harmony to play right into their carryover. Good plan. But you need a Harmony engine on board for Lake Guardian to get Harmony right. Why do you need a Harmony engine on board? It just has Harmony. And whenever you play a unit that is unique, I think it just hand buffs. So, not exactly. Yeah, it's also triggered while in hand and deck, but also on board. So that's no. You are triggering Harmony on a card in your deck. What's a good example? It also boosts features in hand and deck, but it still boosts the ones on board. So I'm pretty sure it's a card that's gonna be in the deck, and then you'll see if you play it. It's a weird one, as I said. Like, let's look at... Okay, Invigorate has quite a few tags, right? Dwarf, Elf. Those 2 are played in the same round. Seamless, Dryad. It's hard. Like, there is literally 1 Dryad. You can split the dwarfs, so you get 2 procs. You get Machine and Elf in 2 different rounds for sure. It's not the deck we should be competing, but at the first glance this looks like a 10-point unit in the end. Invigorate hand buff might be the best for that card. Maybe Harmony will be Invigorate after all. Doubtful on that. We still have to see Invigorate in a competitive meta. Like, the Curbiton getting it to 2600 is not a good showing for the deck. It shows that Curbiton got them skills, but between the season being non-competitive and also this deck not really being prevalent on the opens, on the qualies, yeah, we'll see how potent it is. What do I have? Okay, so this is the Dwarves, and they literally have dwarves, elves, machines, and then nothing else, nothing much else to justify her. So that's not gonna be the easiest job to get Lake Guardian to over the Gort value. Like, to get a Gwent value, you need her at 15. Which cards and destroy artifacts now? Shoop and Heatwave. Welcome to a new nice world of artifact removal. I mean, I dig the Antarion. I don't mind Chameleon, it's colorful. And like between Mysteries itself and the Lake Guardian proportions are kinda scuffed at the first glance, but if we consider this transformation between the phases, maybe it's okay. Pio, do you have Pabs's version of this card? Because nobody provided me with it. Anyone got the Pabs's link by any chance? I saw it on Silly's stream. Yeah, I've seen it in chat. But I didn't grab... Give me a while? Okay, I would appreciate that. Like, it's a simple edit, but I like the message behind it. So yeah, that's the reveal. Any... Ah, sweet. What was the token for? It's what scenario spawns on deploy. So, guys, remember animated tokens. What scenario? 1 second. You might be getting debated another round with the tokens. Also, apparently, the cards won't have like premium sounds. What tokens? All of them that are almost animated, but the new content is more prioritized, understandably. I'm gonna drop that on Discord as well. Animated tokens incoming. Oop. What is that token for and what scenario? Well, I guess you missed the start of the discussion. We got another set of scenarios coming for us. 15 provisions, harmony oriented scenario that spawns another bird, another aspect of Lake Guardian. Here you have it. Once again, you need to activate the chapter 1 by playing a harmony for it to be active for all the other cards you play, but it's kinda a new one, the scenario working as an engine. So how do you rate this scenario? Well, it plays for more points on the start because, well, this is starting as what? You play at least 8 different tags? 7 different tags? And then rely on creates and whatnot. So it looks at the primary categories in your starting deck. I would expect like 7 of them being present, so you get your oomph earlier. So it's harder to tempo ahead while bleeding this scenario. But at the same time, chapter 2 is much slower, since you need to activate it and then it starts boosting instead of like play 5 to 10 points that current scenarios do. Like if we're talking gate innate, it probably procs a couple of preachers already, so it's not just a 6-point card. Well, you play a skeletal unit. Yeah, it is an engine. It doesn't do anything, like it doesn't spawn anything. It starts to work as an engine, but you need to activate it with harmony unit before. So play it. Turn 2, play, say, Anterion. Put harmony onto the token you spawned. You have 2 engines and it starts buffing. Like turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, you get that extra buff. And since it's buffs as per category, we have well, a couple of cursed units, and we also have elf mages, and you probably will see some of them being played in this, which amounts to a decent chapter 1. Double scenario with half elf proc. Amazing. 1 half elf, but 2 scenario procs at once. So you can't play harmony units? Why can't you play harmony units? You need to play harmony units to proc it. And your harmony units. Ah, you mean the chapter. Wait. Who says that it will cancel chapter 1? I think while on board, this effect is lasting throughout the round, so it doesn't care if you proc the chapter 2. It will still... The Convergence doesn't say destroy scenario, right? Yeah. So continue spamming your harmonies. Do we expect waters and other shit get nerfed? Or get changed, not nerfed, sorry. Imagine calling for stuff to get nerfed. So there is your... It acts as an engine. The card that triggers it will be affected, and then as long as it's on the board, the effect is active, even after completing this scenario. So there you go. It will be acting as an engine throughout the entire round. That's from Legion as well. So it's official feedback. I'm not making stuff up. So that's it for the review. Remember, ball was 15-2. Yeah, we'll see how it works out. I don't mind, something new to play. I hope that the current harmony cards are getting changed and do something significant. On the other hand, if harmony cards will start doing something significant, it will be also highly annoying. But yeah. Wait, one thing that we didn't cover is this promo picture. One sec. So I guess it showcases to ya. Misclicking. Okay, there you go. Showcases the board. Well, it's what was it? I forgot. the name. Is it Alzur's laboratory? Or whatever that board is called. Well, it's a reskin, but well, in different color. And some elements have been changed, but it also showcases one scenario. Then it shows a house, so most likely the cards are all the same type, which means scenarios, which means we get a ship scenario for Skellige, which probably, as Booms called it out, will be a pirate scenario. Is it triggering just on pirates or raids? Both are working out. Or maybe just on ships? So a full ship deck without pirates? Kinda hard to imagine. But well, we have ship in chat occasionally, so maybe he's attacked it. What could be? Syndicate scenario, could be broken. So Syndicate 1 is this one, right? This is monsters. Statue. Can it be supporting one like faction, bandit, whatever, the band gangs of Novigrad? Escape Pirates, Monster Beast Swarm, Nilfgaard Mages and Syndicate Gudrun Gang, most likely Horde. Yeah, that's what I am expecting for SY, maybe one of the gangs to be. Guys, don't you see that it is Ogroid related? It's full on Ogroid. So Syndicate, I do expect some infusion related to like profits or money related infusions that some of the cards will do. Maybe making jackpot relevant once again. I just think if all factions get a new scenario, the ST will again remain average. Well, Skoya has been far from relevant in the last couple of seasons to begin with. It's just a matter of preference if you enjoy the gameplay of that. And well, it kinda was relying on the one card, swapping the points between the tallest and smallest unit. I also kind of forgot the English name. Ornate Sensor it is, yeah. Or demon monsters. So we have a cat there that that is basically this, isn't it? Well, you can create an archetype with 4 cards if you are changing a couple of cards already in the library. This doesn't look consuming to me as well. But I have to say, as a guy who has interest in game for 1 week per patch, I like them printing busted card that absolutely dominate entire game. Good for you then, Vodo. Right. Anyway, wake me up on the next reveal. Yeah, you have some 12 hours, 11, 12, 16 hours to sleep. Кстати, если не ошибаюсь, у нейтральных нет сценария. Будет первый сценарий для нейтральных карт. Но здесь севера нету. Так что посмотрим. It is the card stacking are probably just for the visual effects, right? Because otherwise the square would have multiple ones behind it, considering it spawns different stuff. Neutral scenario, an interesting concept. People have been calling out for neutral binded scenario for quite a while. At least I've heard it several times. Может быть, да. Бандиты тем более есть. Можно нейтральный сценарий запилить, который будет, может, не очень играбельный, может, не всем понравится. Oh, that's a nice message to go to bed with, Pooms. So, okay. Probably one gang, probably money related, as was pointed out at Square. We've seen monsters, wouldn't be surprised, but this cannot be relicts, so something else. Beastie, demony. How many demons do we have once again? Demon. Not that many. Change Ethereal's ability, Iris's companions, return the Ruhin to a... yeah, we are... Wait, demon. Return Ruhin to demon for some reason, and you got yourself half of the archetype. Skellige rates, pirates related, maybe ships progress. Wouldn't mind, considering there is a big boaty boat on the card art. The Nilfgaard. What was your Nilfgaard mages? It can be, they have enough. It does look like maybe not exactly mages, mage ritual, something occult is happening. So is there anything else? Like, this is not looking like spies. Soldiers is what they have, mages is what they have. There are a couple of constructs, but hard to imagine an archetype around those. Witchers, soldiers, poison, nothing really connects. You can imagine them going for more constructs between golems. It could be cultists, you know, Great Sun and such. You can always add the tag. Yeah, that's what I'm looking through the current ones. And for the ritual, I can imagine like using blood for transforming something into the